so if you remember, we did the video a while ago, where we posted it 2 weeks ago now, I guess, on is trucking a good career, and I was supposed to do a second part to it, and I did, but I forgot to upload it, and it's at home, and now that I think about it, I wasn't really happy with it anyway, so I'm going to do it here now. And that was what to expect on your first year as a truck driver. So I'll try to keep this fairly simple and to the point, guys. Put it simply put, don't expect to expect much. That's going to sum it up right across the board, okay? You guys that are coming out here brand new with your license, or just going to trucking school, sometimes are led astray as far as what your expectations should be. Keep them low, keep them low, keep them low. Your first year is going to be the absolute worst year. It's going to really test your resolve and to see you know, what you're made of, okay? The wages are going to be shitty, to put it in a one big wrapper there, and it's going to be tough on you, okay? So let's just assume you guys have all gotten your license, you've gone out to trucking school. Those of you who are still looking to go to trucking school, you can look at some of the larger trucking companies. They have their own trucking schools, etc. Let's say you've gone out, you've gotten your license, now you're going out for your first job. Basically put, you're going to end up, most likely 90% of you are going to end up stuck with a trainer. And the reason I'm leaving that at 90%, because 10% of you are going to be lucky enough to find a job with a mom and pop operation who doesn't really have a training program. And I shouldn't say lucky enough, unfortunate is more the word, because you're not going to benefit from somebody else's experience in that sense. And you're going to get with a mom and pop, and they're going to hand you the keys, say, okay, you know, your skill level may be up there where handling the truck is good, but your experience level as far as knowing what to do is not going to be there. And that's the main thing, okay, is getting that experience on knowing what to do, etc. And I apologize for the light bouncing up and down. If I turn my head, the sun shining in here, etc., etc. Anyway, so you're going to get your first job. You're going to get stuck with a trainer. So now the hard part is living in a cab the size of a truck sleeper, you know, 6x6 space roughly, maybe a little bit bigger, 2 people, and that's very tough. Now, one thing I do recommend as a new person, see if that person has a cooler, or if they mind that you bring a cooler with you. I suggest you very highly recommend that you guys get a cooler, you new guys, if you can, or if your trainer has one in his truck and is willing to let you put stuff in it, etc. Or, you know, if you're able to buy yourself a smaller one, you know, that doesn't take up as much room alongside his, because there's 2 of you going to be in there for a long period of time. You're going to need to bring some food, because surviving off the truck stops is very expensive, okay? It's a convenience, and therefore you pay a convenience fee. The convenience is being able to park your truck there, and they have all the amenities that you need in that one location. So for this convenience, you end up paying a little bit more sometimes. Restaurant-wise, you're not going to. It's going to be about the same, you know, for the fast food and whatnot, but it's not healthy for you, okay? I'm the product of what happens when you eat lots and lots of truck stop food. I'm not doing that anymore, as you guys know already. So, at any rate, yeah, so you're going to be stuck with a trainer anywhere from, I'd say, a couple of weeks for those that may have a little bit of experience or their skill level is really up there, to, you know, upwards of 6 months. Depending, it all, again, depends on your skill level and to see how quickly you learn and how well you do. So getting along with another person is, you know, thrown in, it's tough. It's very, very tough. Plus, your training wages are going to be shit, okay? I hear, you know, horror stories of 20 cents and less. If I were you guys, don't take that. You know, at least minimum 25 cents or better. Swift, I believe, their trainees get paid 25 cents, and then they bump them up after the first year. I know Schneider, JB, same thing, trainees, but I think their training pay is a little bit higher. You know, I think a good average to shoot for, I would shoot for personally, would be around 30 cents as for training. You might be hard pressed to get that, so don't take my word for it, okay? So getting through that first year, then you're going to get in, let's say you get through training. You've survived, you haven't killed your trainer, you haven't pummeled them to death, thrown them out the truck, while it's going 60 miles an hour down the highway, or he hasn't done the same to you, hopefully. Now you're going to be thrown in a truck by yourself. Well, you're still not going to be making top wages, and you're going to be given some less than desirable loads, okay? All rookie drivers, and I really hate to use that term, but I'm sorry, rookie drivers, new guys, greenhorns, wet behind the ears, whatever anyone wants to use for the term, you guys are new. Plain and simple, you're going to be given loads that you're not going to be happy with necessarily. Your mileage may not be up to par just because they're still feeling you out, okay? They're still seeing how you're going to do. And, you know, you're going to be away from home for a long periods of time. Some companies, it may be as often home as, you know, every 2-3 weeks, 14 to 21 days. That should be the average. Other companies may keep you out 2 or 3 months. I don't like that idea personally. I think that's BS, but be prepared that this may happen. Let your spouses know, let your family know. Your first year, you got to get through the first year, so you got to do it. Don't just up and quit because you're not getting home. Get through your first year, okay? Hopefully your spouses work. Financially, it's going to be tough. You know, so, but now here's the best part. You get through that first year, and things are going to start to look up for you. And the reason I say this is because some of the majority of the companies out there that don't do training as per se, they want you to have a minimum of 1 year verifiable experience. So now you got your 1 year. Guess what? You can switch jobs. If you're not happy where you are and they're not treating you good and giving you decent mileage, then, you know, you have that option of leaving and starting to look. Now, where do you look? What kind of company do you want to look for? Okay, here's my advice. You've gotten through your first year, you've survived, you haven't killed anyone, but you want to get something where you're a little bit more home time or whatever. Okay, so JB Hunt, Schneider, I'm going to just mention these two. There's a lot of companies out there that do it. They've switched gears. They're no longer an over-the-road company as per se for long haul, but they do a lot of regional, a lot of intermodal, a lot of regional. These are good jobs to get to be with more home time. Okay, so you got to look at that. Now, if you want to travel and see the company, you don't want to do just a 500-mile radius of your terminal, then okay, you're going to get on with one of the long-haul companies. Well, what long-haul company do you look for? Well, the best rule of thumb is to look for somebody in your area, okay? A lot of these companies, well, the bigger companies have terminals all over the place. So, and this is where you want to look at some of the bigger companies, and the reason being is because the chances of them getting you home are a little bit better, especially if they have a terminal within 100 to 200 miles of your home. Now, here's the kicker. Do you have an extra car? Because if I were you, I'd park that extra car at that terminal so that the chances are they're going to get you back to that terminal. You're going to be like a couple hundred miles from home, and all they say, well, we don't have any loads going there. Yeah, okay, well, I'm going home for the weekend. I'll park the truck here. I'm jumping in my car. I'm going. I got a car here. If you don't have a car there, you're stuck. You're not going to be able to get home. Okay? If you're relying on them to let you take the truck home, don't rely on that. That's just a really bad idea all around. Oh, look, there's another truck in here. I know, you guys are confused. I'm in a rest area, and I was the only truck up until now for like the past hour and a half or so. Oh, he's got like squeaky brakes. Anyway, so that's what you got to do. Is you got to find a company that has a terminal near you. Because if you guys are hiring on with companies where the nearest terminal is 500-600 miles away, and they say, oh yeah, we get freight going up that way, and all of a sudden you get on and they only have like a freight coming up there once every 2-3 months, you're the one that's going to be left screwed, to put it simply. So try to find a company, and even for once you're getting in your first year for training, if you can find a company close to home, you know, Schneider, JP, I keep using them because they are big. There's lots of companies out there, large companies that do in-house training, that will run you out with a trainer. They have terminals everywhere. An example too, after 1 year, Sell It On Trucking. I worked for them, the Canadian but their Canadian division. And, you know, I was, 6 hours from home. Now, I'd say 70% of the time they got me home with the truck, because they had a lot of freight going across the corridor to Montreal out of Kitchener, and so my house is only like an hour detour. That's not too bad. When they didn't have me a load going towards the house, I had my pickup truck, or my van at the time, sitting at the terminal. Didn't get many miles because I didn't use it that often, but hey, if it was, oh well, you know, it's your weekend off, you know, you're supposed to have 3 days off or whatever, but we don't have any loads going that way. Okay, I'm parking the truck here, I'm jumping in my van, going home. And that's what I did. So, guys, get a second vehicle. You can get them cheap, $400 or $500. Park them at terminal as long as they're running, going to get you home. You know, so find a terminal close to home. So, just a quick overview here, because we're getting on in time, is expect shitty wages, and I know that sounds harsh, but it's true. You guys aren't going to get great wages starting off, okay? And I'm sorry for that, but that's just the way it is, okay? But if you can get through your first year, that's when it's all going to get better for you. I know Sell It On Canada starts 1 year drivers with 1 year experience at 39 cents. I believe Sell It On US starts 1 year experience drivers at 34 cents. I know there's a difference between the two countries, and the reason being is the cost of living is a lot higher here in Canada. I shouldn't say here because I'm not in Canada, I'm in the States right now. But anyways, you know what I mean. So that's, you know, you got to check around, call around, see what 1 year driver wage is getting, home time policy, how close do they have to have terminal, how large is the terminal. If it's a terminal where it's like a drop yard and they only bring in 1 or 2 trailers a month, then, you know, that's no good either. But anyways, I hope this helped a little bit. I know there wasn't much information there. Bring a cooler, you know, try not to eat out of the truck stops if you can, because it's going to cost you $200, $250 a week just to be eating out of the truck stop. So if you guys can bring food from home and a cooler, I advise it very highly. Bring your soda, you know, try to lay off the soda, drink water. Soda sitting in a truck 10 hours, 11 hours a day is going to just make you big like me, and that's not good. Try to lay off the caffeine. Couple of cups a day is fine. Some of you guys, I see guys out here, they drink like 10 cups of coffee a day. I don't know how they're not like this by the end of the day. But at any rate, so try to bring food from home. Bring snacks. You know, if you can't get a cooler and you'd like to survive off snacks, dry foods, dry goods, you know, canned foods, etc. Get yourself a little Burton stove to go. I showed that in a past video. I'll show it again eventually. Coming up here, I'm going to do another inside look at my truck here, and I'm going to show some of my equipment. But guys, get a little Burton stove to go, or the Road Pro stove to go. It does take 30-40 minutes to cook a basic meal, okay? Some canned goods, you know, like the chunky stews. It's going to take about 40 minutes to cook. A lot of guys throw these things out. They get all pissed. It doesn't work, because they expect it to cook in 10 minutes. It's not a microwave, okay? It's not an oven like you have at home. It takes 40 minutes at least, 30-40 minutes to cook something. So it's a slow cooker. That's what it is. It cooks at 200 degrees or 250 degrees, somewhere in between there. Try to get yourself a cooler. Set yourself up with a cooler. Bring dry goods from home. Bring your snacks from home, especially because those are really expensive on the road. So whatever you can bring from home, it'll be cheaper on you in the long run. So, at any rate, that's my advice. We're coming up to our time limit here. I apologize for going through this fairly, you know, quickly on the mouth here. Please, if you have any questions, if I've missed anything, not mentioned anything, put it in the comment box below. I'll get to it in a future Q&A, which is a video Q&A. I'm doing as much of my Q&A now on the video. Yeah, so happy trucking. This is the best career in the world, guys. You're a paid tourist. That's all I have to say. You're a paid tourist, and you don't have a boss looking over your shoulder. Yes, we have computers in the trucks, Qualcomm, and all that satellite tracking crap. You know, that Big Brother crap, that's exactly that. It's bull crap. It comes down to us. We're the ones in charge. We're the ones who decide when we stop and go. So you can't do this at a 9-to-5 job or a factory job at home. So anyway, best job in the world, paid tourist. Like this guy over here getting out of his truck is wearing shorts. I'm wearing shorts. You know, it's great.